All right. Let's go ahead and invite our final three, Will, Jake, and Ben. Come on up, take your seats. Great job. Yeah, go ahead, take your seats. Hey, who's ready to find out who the winner of Outlast is? You three have been waiting a long time. Nobody knows, for the record, what's inside of this jar, except for me, because I had to edit it. You've had to wait a long time, and now you guys will get to find out, too. Again, I said it in the episode, but seriously, great games, all three of you. So proud of all of you in the games you played. Each of you are deserving of winner, but there can only be one, so let's get to it. First vote, Will. Remember, I forgot to tell you, again, you want to see your name on the votes this time. That's a good thing. We're voting for a winner. Next vote, Jake. One vote, Will. One vote, Jake. Will. Two votes, Will. One vote, Jake. Jake. Two votes, Will. Two votes, Jake. Two votes left. Will. Three votes, Will. Two votes, Jake. One vote left. The winner of Catalyst Outlast, Will. Congratulations. The night is just beginning. We've got all sorts of stuff in store for you. Give it up one more time for Will. Congratulations. Played a great game. Let's take a look at some of his big moments that got him the win.
There's kind of a little alliance building that I'm in with Jenna and Jake. We're trying to just get to the merge first.
Wait. Jake and Will pacing the group.
We're trying to jumble some things because we have found an immunity idol and our whole camp knows about it.
Do you think there's any chance in this game to come for the blue tribe, or at least people from the blue tribe, to have a chance in this game?
Absolutely. Yeah. If a strong alliance from the blue team makes it to the merge, we're gonna have a very big impact on the votes in the tribal councils. The constant three that we've had is me, Jake, and Jenna. We're trying to get Chloe into it. Ben is a threat with his idol.
Drop your buffs. We are merged. Woo! Will wins immunity. Congratulations.
Ted and Jack, I think, are the only two people left that I know nothing about it because I haven't been in their camp.
The pieces are slowly falling into place. Me, Jenna, and Jake's alliance is sticking strong, and we have Chloe in with us, so we've outnumbered 4-3.
Will, how confident are you?
I don't know.
Lydia, how confident are you? Will wins immunity and reward.
I just don't want to have the risk of some other factor affecting what we could have as a successful win.
Putin gets his first ring. Will lands his third ring, wins immunity.
I'm somewhat optimistic, but there's still a lot of question marks, and there's still a lot of things that could go wrong or change.
If not, it's...
Who would you choose if it was who you're saying? I don't know. I'd rather choose really good understanding.
Will's starting to take some distance here, and now he's turning on the jets. Will wins immunity. Will, congratulations, fourth individual immunity. Come and get it.
Especially since he's won 4. I feel like that makes him a potential winner.
All right, Will, again, congratulations. We saw some of your big highlight moments. If you were to pinpoint one part of your game or one moment in your game that you think really like won it for you, what would that be?
I feel like the challenges did it for me. As we've noticed, I mean, my alliance with Jake and Jenna, that definitely helped push us towards the end, but I really feel like the challenges is what did it, so what happened?
Jake's trying to make a goof behind you. His thing says oof doy doy. Carry on.
But yeah, I feel like it was the challenges is what it was, so.
Cool. I think one of the big things, at least for me, that was interesting to follow, knowing how this kind of winds up as the season progresses, is what, if anything, like separated the two of you, Jake and Will. If, in case you don't know, Jake and Will voted together every single vote in the game. You didn't vote differently the whole time. You were on the same tribe the whole time. In my mind, there were maybe two things that separated you. The challenges, which you talked about, and something I picked up on was your social ability to get people that were kind of fringy on your alliance really feel like they were a part of things. People like Jake and Chloe and even Chuddy, I think, did that for you. Jenna, you ultimately voted for Will over Chuddy, and you were a part of that 3-person alliance for the whole game. Seeing it as closely as you did, what in your mind gave Will the edge over Jake?
I think definitely the challenges. I mean, he was the absolute beast in the challenges. No one was even close to him in most of them. But also just the fact that he was able, I mean, we were all part of orchestrating a lot of people getting out, let's be real, but he hit it very well. And not a lot of people knew that he was the leader of it all, whereas I didn't hide it as well. So yeah, I think that was a big part of it.
Awesome. Ben, I want to recognize your game too. You played a great game as well. Congratulations on making it this far. I think the most defining thing of your game that was talked about so much was that totem that you found immediately. It was really impressive the way that you held on to that after being a target so many times. You had, the guts to hold on to it instead of playing it when maybe you were under fire. Was there a moment at any point in the game when you were like really close to playing that and you decided not to?
I think it was the time we got Jack out.
Okay.
It was like, I think it was between like me and him and they both were tied or something, and then he got out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What ultimately convinced you to hold on to that and keep it until that last moment? Was there anything?
Not really. I was just putting it up for chance. So.
There you go. Well, it turned out to be a good move. Okay, another thing that I thought about a lot coming into the end game, and it's talked about a lot at the end too, is Will and Jake, you two recognized each other as probably the biggest threats to win coming in there. And Will, you even talked about it there at 4, maybe having the chance or choosing to vote Jake out instead of Chloe. How close were you to pulling the trigger on that? Was it never even really a thing that crossed your mind?
I was close to doing it. I was weighing the odds of who do I want to be sitting on the final 3 with if I do make it that far. And I just felt like it'd be a really dirty move for me to go, hey Jake, we've made it this far. Now I'm going to try and vote you out. Mm-hmm. So I thought, let's go all the way and see what happens. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Jake, again, I had the same question for you. Was there a point in the game where you could have made the move to vote Will out before you got to the final 3, And I don't know, shouts to anybody who watches our recaps on the web with Hannah and I, but this is a thing we talked about a lot. Thanks for the 4 claps. Is I think really the only chance you had there was at 5, where you voted Lydia out instead, who was as big as, if not more of a powerful player in there. Did you have a moment at any point in the game where you seriously considered taking Will out?
Not really, but like you said, in the recap that I always watch.
Yes, thank you.
If the only scenario that I could have gotten Will out was that challenge that I won. But that wasn't even a guarantee for me to move on to the final 3 with anybody else, because I would have still had to win the next challenge and make sure Lydia, wherever you are, didn't win that challenge, because if she had, then I'm a goner. So I had to place all my bet, because you're just as big a threat as Will is, if not bigger. And so it was like, which like player do I want to go for, right? And so I was with him the entire time, and I was like, there's no point in breaking it up right now.
Yeah. Ultimately, it was one swing of a vote in the jury, or potentially two, to either tie this thing at the end or win it for you. Do you think if there was one thing that you could have said differently at Final Tribal, one thing you could have chosen to do differently in the game that would have swung that one vote for you? Could you identify anything like that?
Not really. Unless I'd won a couple more challenges, I think I might have had a bigger shot at winning. But since he won 4 out of 6 challenges, I think it was, I mean, there's really no reason for anybody to vote against that, because, I mean, when you get down to the final 9, it's all about individual play. And winning challenges is what shows how good of a player you are, basically.
Yep.
And winning 4 basically seals it for you, I think.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed in your game, again, watching it back and editing it, was the way that, Will, from a social perspective, it seemed like was really driving that alliance. But there were so many conversations that I noticed where you're kind of directing the strategic action there. And I think that if you had a leg to stand on, that would have been it. I wonder, for the rest of the jury, does anybody else who voted want to share why they voted for the person that they chose to vote for? Anybody? Lydia, do you want to, since you're holding a mic?
Yeah. So I voted for Will. It was actually a really hard decision. I wasn't sure who I was going to vote for. It was between Will and Jake for me. But in the end, I mean, Will, he won so many individual challenges, and he was a really strong leader, even when he was in my group. So that's kind of what sealed it for me.
Yeah, same for me. I feel like I just thought of Will as kind of the puppet master a little bit. I felt like he was doing most of the decision making and not doing it in a way that hurt people's feelings, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I actually voted for Putin.
Yeah.
I understand that Will had a really good game, but I also think Jake had a really good game because he wasn't the major, he wasn't the leader of the group or anything, but he made it that far, so that's why I voted for him.
Yeah. Great. Chloe, we haven't talked about you much either. You're the other person in our Final Four. Great game. Chloe as well. I think the way that, again, we talked about it in the episode, but the way that you were able to just be aware of what was going on and be with the right people and be like a force to influence wherever you were at because of the place that you put that you put yourself in, made you a strong player. What in your game was the moment or the decision that you were most proud of?
That's hard. Probably as soon as, I don't know if this was caught, but I think that as soon as I got switched to the blue tribe, I told Jenna that Ben had a hidden immunity idol. That's the first thing I did. So I think that just kind of sealed my place with them and kind of gave them I gave them my trust, and I think that I gave them a reason to trust me. So I think that was one of my best moves.
Yeah, that wasn't something I knew. That's cool.
Yeah.
Ben, your story of this whole game was a lot of overcoming things, right? Of being a freshman, you talked about in this last episode. You were a freshman that made it all the way to the Final Three, which was great. Overcoming time after time being the target. What was the biggest hurdle, you think, that you had to overcome to make it as far as you did?
I don't really know, honestly.
That's okay if you can't think of something.
I think just making sure that the attention was always on someone else besides me. That because I had the immunity totem, it was always just oh, Ben has the immunity totem, so let's trick him and make him not play it.
Yeah.
But I just figured out a way to like put it on somebody else. Like, oh, well, they have a better chance of winning, so why don't we get them out? And so I just did that the entire time.
It's really good. Honestly, you did a really great job of that, because it felt like for a while, every single episode, the story was, okay, let's get Ben to waste this, or let's convince Ben we're voting for someone else and vote him out. And you held on to your idol, which was really, you held on to your totem, because we don't have idols at church. Did you notice that when people say idol and I had subtitles, I put totem instead of idol? Yeah, tough to overcome the survivor jargon. The last thing I wanted to say before we get into this next segment, Chloe, I think your move to go ultimately with like Lydia and like do your thing together, I was like so excited when I saw this happening, because personally, I loved that idea of y'all rallying together and doing something. It felt like it came like one vote too late, you know? Was there like, again, you played a great game, but is there like one regret or one thing that you wish that you would have done differently that maybe would have pushed you over the hump?
Yes, okay. I was thinking, whenever, I think it was Hooten that won immunity, I was hoping to try to get Lydia, Ben, and Hooten all to vote Will. And I think that would have worked. I'm not sure. But I feel like that, then, I'm sorry, Lydia, but I feel like I would have had to get you out too. So if I would have gotten Will out and then I would have gotten Lydia out, I feel like I could
That would have been a master stroke.
I know, and I'm so disappointed. I've like played it like back in my mind thousands of times, like what could I have done? But yeah, I think I should have done that. It's like a move.
That would have been huge.
I think your only problem with that strategy was you never talked to me about it.
Would you have been on board with that, you think?
Like I said, if I had been on board with it, I would have had to get Lydia out eventually, no offense, but I would have had to, and I just don't think it was in my favor to do that move.
I should have.
Yeah, there were so many things that, like, this was a thing that I appreciated and recognized watching this back and editing it and everything. So many, like, tiny things that if they would have switched just so little, it would have completely, like, blown up the way this game looks. Hey, do we have the goofs? Okay, this will be a fun thing. There was, this was a lot of fun. This was a big, serious, physical adventure. But there were lots of mess-ups and goofs that happened along the way, too, most of which didn't make their way into the edit, but we've compiled them for you. So check out some fun goofs.
All right. Hey, immunity. Back up for First things first, I'm going to need that totem back.
That we forgot.
Blue tribe wins immunity. Jack, run back and grab it.
Hey guys. Hannah gave me the camera for a bit. Chilling in a hammock.
Winston, it's against the rules to vote for yourself.
Come on.
Wait, put it in there. Oh, in the box? Yeah. Wow, fancy.
So apparently the idol that I found was Ben's, and he was really smart and decided to hide it in a box, which would be a great spot for them to hide it. So it's actually just Ben's idol, and no one's found another one. So really happy. It was in a box. It was just trash that I left out to throw away in the morning, and it was in there. And apparently that was his spot that he chose to put it for the day.
Hey, just one more shot for purple or for blue. This is so hard to keep track of. Thanks. Lydia throwing puzzle pieces at me.
I just got a voicemail from an unknown caller that I will check later. It's taking a lot of self-control to not give you hints or just solve it for you. It's very frustrating watching you. This one's gonna suck to edit. Jack dancing with that pole.
I think I have decent balance, and I failed miserably.
Did John ask you if you have prostate problems?
What are the odds that you eat this pepperoni off the floor that has dead ants on it? No.
So what are you doing to those dead ants?
I'm trying to pick them off.
Hurry, we gotta go to try.
All right.
Let's count it down. Someone.
3, 2, 1.
So it's time for you to get fire. In this game, fire represents your life in this game. When your fire goes out, so does your life in this game. I said in this game about 6 times. Thanks.
He's not great.
Supposed to open it.
Thank you. Nasty. Extra boost you need coming into the home stretch. Did you just dab on that cough?
Then what's happening now? Because then somebody really could use that.
Obviously, Will sweats a bunch, so you gotta give him some AC here pretty soon. But
Oh, y'all smell disgusting.
Alex is gonna enjoy going through this.
I picture Alex.
Want to get a camera in her face?
I already have one. I was looking right at the camera.
I have a tick. Pull it off.
No, don't do it. It's just
Sorry, Will. I accidentally flicked a tick onto your bag. But it bounced off, so I think it's okay.
Morning, John.
He is gonna peel out. But not what you came out here to do.
Sorry.
It's okay. Foio, Ben, is not a word.
So if that didn't make it clear, this was so much fun to do. I just have to draw attention to a few of these. Yeah, shout out to Zachary for the music. I was gonna say that. Winston, thanks for bringing it up. Zachary Todd, all of the tracks in this entire thing, he built from scratch, produced it. Couldn't have done this without you, dude. They were sick. Thank you so much, man. A couple of these I have to quickly draw attention to. Winston, thank you for drawing attention to yourself. You attempted to vote for yourself. That is against the rules. Did you have what was going through your head?
Well, I knew I was out, so what did it matter?
So good. We could have also just done a supercut of people failing to be able to open the urn, which was also super fun. Yeah, like I said a second ago, there were so many things in this game where if one tiny thing broke differently, like the way that a tribe was constructed after a swap looked different, a tribe won an immunity where they ended up losing, someone makes a snap decision to vote differently, this entire game looks completely differently. I've assembled a supercut of some of my favorite big game moments from the season that we can watch now.
Yeah, I found a hidden immunity totem necklace.
I knew there was something to do with it. Right under there.
Both taking it easy here, moving slow. The hand comes out. They're both balancing now. That's a point for purple. Purple wins immunity and reward. Does anybody here not feel confident? Nobody doesn't feel confident, and that means one of you is about to get blindsided.
Yeah.
That's 2 votes Amaya, 2 votes Jake, 1 vote Lydia, 1 vote left. Next person voted out of Outlast, Amaya. Drop your buffs.
Told you guys.
It's time for a tribe swap.
Yeah, we're planning on Macy. Big power player.
I was not expecting that at all. I told her when I walked down here what was happening.
Joe brought a bomb to tribal and just set it off. Tess is gonna get a sub. We're down to the wire here. Here comes Joe. Will's just got a couple more pieces to put together. Joe's looking at what he's got on the ground. Boo! Wins immunity! 2 votes Lydia, 1 vote Joe, 1 vote left. Joe, we have a tie. Next person voted out of Outlast, Joe. You need to bring me your torch. Lydia, your tribe has been on the bottom from the first moment of this game. Where are you at right now?
I mean, I feel kind of good right now.
4 votes Tess, 3 votes Ben. Next person voted out of Outlast and first member of our jury, Tess. Will drops, and just like that, Lydia wins immunity.
In your pocket. Is that your headphone? Yes. I kind of was I even asked Kirsten so legit. I just screwed myself. Against me, freaking jury, dude.
Dirk.
Can't even look at it.
Alex, I'd like to.
What's up, Jody?
Says I can steal a reward from this flying place to win, steal that reward.
All right, I'll take that back. Chuddy does have a reward steal advantage that he's gotten in this game.
And then I just saw a piece of paper, and then I grabbed Jake, and we went and looked for it.
You may go in thinking that this specific person is gonna get voted out, and you could go out being completely wrong. You never know what's real and what's not.
Lydia, she's gone. See ya.
This is a hidden immunity totem. All votes cast for Ben will not count.
Hey Alex, can I use mine?
Come on. Lydia does not count. No votes are tallied. 1 vote left. Next person voted out and next member of our jury, Jenna. Jake wins immunity. 2 votes Ben, 2 votes Lydia, 1 vote left. Next person voted out and next member of our jury, Lydia.
So there were so many things from one of the first ones that I didn't remember until I went back in editing. That third tribal council, Jake, where if Amaya plays that totem, you're out. And you end up here at the final 3 getting 2 votes. The idols play differently or 1 vote is switched. You're out of the game there. The tie vote at the end of the swapped portion where Lydia's almost knocked out there, who makes a huge splash in the post-merge game. There's immunity challenges that are determined by seconds, or in the case of the idle hands one with the pegs on the platforms, literally we had to go back and look at the footage, and it was like a few frames difference from one hitting the other. That could have changed the tide in the game and the momentum. There were so many things that one little thing is different, the game looks totally different. I think it's unquestionable that the biggest moment of the season was Lydia's idol play, which was so good. Give it up for Lydia. In general, one of the strongest players out here this season, I think. Man, I'm glad that you didn't, but after you did that, and like everybody was going back up to tribal, like Jason and like Sachel and I are down there like high-fiving, like, this is awesome. It was so cool. Lydia, I just have to give you props and recognize your game. You played such a great game. I think, again, looking back, the most impressive part to me was how you got swapped. You got swap screwed. You got swapped onto a tribe as the only former blue with 5 former purples, and you survive all the way to the merge. Was there anything that you did, you think, that advanced yourself through those like really crucial votes when you were very clearly like very vulnerable?
So when I first switched onto the Purple Tribe and I realized that Jake, Jenna, and Will were still together, I was like, oh no, this isn't good for me. But as soon as the Purple Tribe lost, our first one, I think Macy and Tess both came up to me and were like, we want to get this person out, and they just came running to me, and I just kind of figured like, oh, this is good for me, like I could be the swap vote and everything, and then I don't know how I did it. I really don't. It just.
And then I think one of the most telling things was that when we get down to that tie vote, and Tess goes against, these people that she'd been working with, and even puts her own game on the line. Yeah, to keep you in this game, when she could have chosen the easy path and taken Joe out. Tess, what went into that decision for you, and what did Lydia do to make you make that decision, basically on her behalf?
Maybe girl power.
That's awesome. I love that.
I mean, I know I just voted Macy out, but Lydia had been to like every tribal council, so I was like, she has to keep going. So I was like, okay, bye, Joe. Sorry.
Yeah, we said it so many times if you've been watching the series, but Lydia went to every single tribal council to the point where she was voted out and could no longer be in the game. But to survive at that highest, and then she was on the jury, you're right. And so she was present at everything. Really, really impressive. Well, we've talked about this a little bit already, but one of the biggest things in the post-merge that were big moves, one after another, was your ability to consistently win those 4 out of 6 individual immunity challenges. Do you have anything to add about how crucial that was to your victory, or your strategy in general?
I mean, it's kind of simple just because you can't get voted for, but I will say the one I did lose, I think Chloe mentioned it earlier, where that was one where I was surprised that they didn't go for me, because I was totally just vulnerable. And I thought, well, I've won enough challenges that I am a threat, so this might be my time, but ended up not being so.
That's where your alliance came in then, that people were loyal to you even then, even when you were vulnerable. And then I think the post-swap Purple Tribe was a lot of fun. There was a lot of dysfunction there. Macy, what happened where you went from this place of complete dominance in the first day to everything blowing up in everyone's faces, mostly because Joe brought bombs to Tribal?
Yeah, so I actually immediately knew, they were trying to tell me different things. I had 3 different people telling me different things, and immediately at that moment, I knew, I was like, this is it, I'm done. And I asked all of them about it while we were at camp, and I don't think cameras got this, but they were like, no, you're not going home, why would we do that? The target's Lydia, that's what we're planning on. And we were heading down, and I told Tess, I said, Tess, I'm going out, you need to watch your back. Literally, as we were walking down.
That was low-key one of my favorite episodes, between the Joe thing at Tribal, and then Jack, I loved this. I brought this up when it ran at the 6. But you tell one group of people, at the merge, we should team up with the rest of the purples and vote out the blues. And then someone leaves, and you say to everyone else, at the merge, we should team up with the blues and get rid of the rest of the purples. I thought that was hilarious.
It was literally me and Lydia. Me and Lydia switched places, and then he said those opposite things.
Yeah. I loved the post-swap Purple Tribe. Chuddy, we haven't talked to you much either. You had more advantages come into your possession in this game than anyone else. You had the powerless immunity totem, and you also had that, the reward steal. And then you used that to get the hidden secret reward, which, for the record, the thing that Chuddy stole and then got voted out with, he had it in his pocket. It would have been an advantage in that next challenge to come, as you suspected. Talk us through your navigation of those advantages. Do you regret anything about the way that you played those? Would you do anything differently?
It may be the fact that I stole Will's challenge, because obviously that kind of backfired because I got voted out the round after. But I was just thinking ahead. I maybe thought I could slip through that one last council and then I could use it for the next challenge, but didn't work out. But I don't know what I was thinking the whole game with the challenges, but I don't know. It just kind of went on.
Yeah. I wish so, I've told you this already, Jack, but I wish so badly you would have played that fake totem, because that would have been really fun TV, but.
That's what I said.
I know.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, this is about the end of our interview thing. We've got a few games that we're going to play. Is there anything else that any of you want to say before your floor is essentially over? Okay, they're going to stay up here, but let's give it up for our cast one more time. So great, guys. Seriously, so good. Okay, this next thing we're going to do involves everybody. Everybody has a chance to participate in this game. We're going to play some Outlast trivia. So the way this is going to work, there will be some questions on the screen, and ultimately our winner or winners can win an Outlast buff that has been washed, for the record. They're not nasty. So the way this is going to work is we'll put a question on the screen. It'll be A, B, C, or D. Hold up one finger for A, two for B, etc. If you get it correctly, let's all stand up. We're going to do this middle school way. If you get it correctly, you can continue standing. And if you miss the question, you'll sit down until there's only a few left. Hey, is our bag of buffs still in this room back here? Can you go grab them? Yeah, keep them on. Yeah. No, you can't play because hopefully you know the answers. Yeah, this is to see who the biggest Outlast super fan is. Okay, everybody know how the game works? We good? Okay, Sejal, hit us with question number 1. All right, which player received the most votes in tribal councils in which they were not voted out? So this is votes that they received and they did not go out in that tribal council. 3, 2, 1. Everybody with an answer? That would be Lydia. If you had Lydia correct, you got it right. Lydia, you've survived 9 votes, mostly because you canceled 5 of them in one tribal. Ben, you had 7. You were the next one. For the record, Hooten had 2 and Will had 1. Let's do the next question. So if you got that right, you're still standing. Question 2, which player had the first confessional in the first episode? Confessionals are when, it's like an interview setup, they're talking to the camera. Mull it over here. This is a tougher one. 3, 2, 1. That would be Jack. Jack, do you remember that? You were like, the purple team, doing pretty good. Got a lot of food.
Oh my God.
Man, that was a savage question. All right, hey, if you're still in, why don't you come up to the front-ish, like in the front row. How about that? Yeah, come on, Outlast super fans, there you go. So we can make sure you're not cheating. Great. Okay, question 3. Which of these players was not voted out unanimously, meaning that everybody voted for them except for them? Was not voted out unanimously. Only one of these people had a contested vote. Stop. Ben, put your fingers away. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. That is Tess. It was a 6-3 vote that Tess survived. So if you guessed Tess, Huff, congrats. Blue or purple? Blue or purple? All right. Hey, let's run it back. We've got a lot more questions, so let's do it again. Everybody can stand back up. Well, you got another chance. We are on question 4. All right, okay, this is kind of a deep cut. If you are on the internet, our episodes, just like in Real Survivor, the titles of the episodes are quotes from players in that episode. So, which player titled the episode the most times? Meaning that which player had their quote used as the title? 3, 2, 1. The answer is Hooten. 3 times you titled the episode.
How many? Wait, how many?
3 times. 3 times. I don't remember.
For me?
Okay, we're on question 5, right? I just want to make sure that my answers are right. Yep, cool. Okay, when I asked this question, to vote correctly means you voted for the player who went home, okay? So which of these players had the highest percentage of correct voting? 3, 2, 1. All right, so if you picked Will or Hooten, you were right here. 90% of the time you voted correctly. Those were the winners. The only time you did not vote correctly was when you tried to vote Lydia out, and she said no. Who's left? Still a few of you. All right. Hey, it's all part of the game. Okay, question number 6. No shade here, but which of these players had the lowest percentage of voting correctly? 3, 2, 1. What do we got? The answer here, Jack. Sorry, buddy. Jack, you voted correctly 40% of the time. Not included in this answer were Henry and Sophie, who voted correctly 0% of the time because they went to one tribal council and got voted out. So I know. All right. What number question are we on? 7? Yeah. Great. Question number 7. Which of these players did not vote for Will in Final Tribal? Were you listening to our post-game interviews well? 3, 2, 1. That would be Tess. Tess voted for Jake. Are we down to 2? Down to 2. All right, here we go. Question number 8. Which of these players did not wear all 3 tribe colors, meaning they were not on each tribe at least once? 3, 2, 1. All right, you're both right. That's Joe. Good job. Question number 9. Man, we might have to get more buffs. Let's go for question 9 here. Which player had the total most confessionals over the course of the whole series? So the most times that they got to talk to the camera and tell us what was happening. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 1 vote for Lydia, 1 vote for Chloe. If you chose either Will or Lydia, you would have that correct. Will and Lydia both had 18 confessionals. Yeah. For the record, Hooten had 16 and Chloe had 12. So yeah, congrats, Outlast superfan. If you want to swap this out for a different color later, let me know. Congratulations. Just for fun, go ahead and throw the last question up there. Okay, so we, in the preparation of all this, named all of our challenges for fun. Which one of these wasn't a real name of one of our challenges? Blind balls was actually one of them. The answer is bounce with me. That was none of them. Chain reaction was the one where they were all tied together. No, that was the first one, where they were stuck together and had to go through stuff. Blind balls was when you were blindfolded and had to get balls. Slippy dippy was the slip and slide. Yeah. It's all like internal stuff. There's no reason you would know. Okay, great. Congrats to our trivia winners. All right. Okay, now we've got a game for our cast to play. All of you have whiteboards and markers. We're going to do something called Outlast Superlatives. So I'm going to give our cast a superlative, something describing someone, and they're going to write down which... You don't know where your marker is? I had exactly 16. Just share with Chloe or something if you... There, Tess has one. Here, if you want, you can put... Here, you can hand the mics up and I'll take them. So I'm going to give them a category and they have to choose which contestant best fulfills this category. There should be one more mic. Thank you. Yeah, Winston, I guess you can vote for yourself this time if you want. Okay, let's start with a pretty nice one. Most supportive. Which one of your castmates was the most supportive out there? And we don't have like all day, so make a pretty snap decision.
I don't know, hold on.
Wow, it's a unanimous Chloe. Except for Henry, who said Joe. Chloe's so supportive, that's so nice. Okay, go ahead and erase. Chuddy, you said Tez. Tez. That wasn't the real thing. That was really funny too. Okay, what about the sneakiest? Who was always out sneaking around, having conversations they shouldn't be having? Actually, let's leave him covered. Let's leave him covered, and then I'll tell you to all reveal them at once. How about that?
Oh, wait.
So leave him down.
Oh, okay.
The sneakiest. Everybody got it? Okay, turn it around. Let's see, we've got, wow, pretty across the board. Lydia said herself, I love that. We've got some Jennas, we've got some Chuddies, we've got some Lydias. Pretty across the board here, I like that. All right. Tez. I don't know, there were a lot of different votes. Okay, what about hungriest? Who was always having too much food that they should not be having with your limited rations? Who was the hungriest?
Who stole all the food?
Lots of Bens. Lots of Bens, lots of Jacks. Hey, some would say it's a strategic decision that, you'd be more well-nourished and able to perform better. Okay, this is our hashtag too soon player. Which player got voted out pre-merge that should have had a much longer and better game in, in the game? Who had the most potential and had their game cut short? Pre-merge player. Keep them down for now, and then I'll tell you. Okay, everybody good? I see a few people writing. Okay, go ahead and hold them up. Got a lot of Henrys, a Macy, some Joes. Rip Joe. Hey, Joe, I'm gonna reveal something to you. Our Muffler and Sarah and myself and I think Jason did too. We all had winner picks pregame. Joe, you were my winner pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you let me down. For the record, my hashtag too soon player was Meredith because you gave me so many good confessionals in your 2 episodes. It really bummed me out when you got voted out. Okay, I really like this one. Most likely to be on Real Survivor someday. Which that you played with could be on the CBS television show Survivor. Yeah, think about it for a second if you got to.
No.
Okay, ready?
Wait, no, don't. Oh, that's great.
Did you put my name down?
No.
Okay, ready?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
No.
Yeah, there, yep. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Still waiting on my call. Okay, what about the sassiest?
Oh.
Who was the snarkiest and the sassiest out there? All right, let's write them down. Show me what you got. Some Miss Sophies, some Macy's, some Lydias, a lot of Sophies. I thought for sure this would be Tess, but I guess I misread that.
Literally, anytime Ben would speak, Sophie would be like, Ben, shut up.
Oh, that's really mean. That's really mean. I don't like that. That's just mean. Okay, what about, there were a few overnights that our Outlast contestants spent with each other. Who was the worst camping partner? Worst camping partner, as you had to spend the night with some people out there.
Wait, hang on. Does it have to be in our trot or our
I don't know. You can do whatever you want.
Does it have to be in our freaking tent?
Whatever. It can be whatever.
Whoever?
Meredith. Meredith said I didn't make it that far. Okay, so let's reveal. The deer? Yeah, the deer. I forgot about the deer. It was like right after you woke up, right?
No, it was that night. We were getting ready to go, and then it ran out of the woods and jumped on the tent.
Yeah. Yeah, this deer comes like flying out of the woods and like put a hole in our tent. It was really wild out there. Okay, the last one. Now this is a theoretical question because there's no like assurance this is gonna happen necessarily. But imagine, if you would, a theoretical world where 2 years from now it's Outlast Season 2. Who's the most likely to win Season 2? Yeah, out of you.
We have to think of underdogs.
It would have to be a freshman or a sophomore if we stick to that timeline. Yeah.
Are we going?
Yeah, well, like half of you have written something down, so. Okay, write something.
Hurry up, Lydia.
All right, reveal. Meredith, Schleg, Chloe. Joe could not play in 2 years. Neither could Macy. That's okay. Winston, I love the vote for yourself. That's it's a serious power move. All right. All right, well, thanks for playing Outlast Superlatives. Thank you very much. Okay, just about the last thing we're gonna do. As you can see, there's a challenge set up here. I know that so many of you parents have been watching and supporting your children competing in Outlast. I wanted to give some parents a chance to take part in a challenge here. This is one of our favorites. It's called Audio Slave. Would 5 brave parents volunteer to do this challenge? Or would you want to volunteer your parents to do it? Yeah, come on. Just come on up if you want to do it. All right. 3 more, come on. All right, Ange. Come on, let's do it. All right. Hey, we need 2 more. Be brave. All right, Denise, 1 more. All right. Hey, give me one of the, I'll take a mic.
Let's go, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
Okay, really quickly before we start, just go ahead and pass this down. Tell us who you are and who you are representing up here.
I'm Andy Allard, and Lydia is my daughter.
All right.
I'm Marcia Pop, and Jenna is my daughter. I'm Angie Gumry, and Ben is my son.
I'm Denise Colt, and William.
I'm Joni, and Chloe's my daughter.
All right. Hey, so if y'all remember this challenge, the name of the game is to balance on these balance beams while you hold this bar. Your hands have to stay above your shoulders, and there will be a peg balancing on your bar. If you fall off, or if your peg falls off, you're out of the challenge. Your daughter won this one, right?
Yeah.
Can you make her proud and continue the legacy? Let's do it. Okay, everybody, here's a poll. You can, do whatever you want with shoes. Skirt. There you go.
So you have to remind me.
Yes. Okay, so what's gonna happen is in a second, you'll take a step onto the balance beams, we'll put the pegs on these, and you have to lift your poles then in the air above your shoulders and keep your peg balanced on your pole. Sound good? Yeah, take a second to get your feel for them. Also, you can only be holding it on those yarn pieces. So the only places your hand can touch the poles is on the yarn.
Kids will hold our arms up.
Yeah, then they can come, and keep your arms straight. Okay, hey, let's all go ahead and stand on our balance beams then. You got it.
Let's go, Jody.
Okay, and now I'm gonna come by and put one on here, and then I'll count you down to when we'll start. All right, we haven't quite started yet, so no pressure. You got this. Here you go. Here you go. All right, this challenge will start In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get our arms, our hands above the shoulders. Hands have to be above the shoulders. We've got a few different strategies here. Holding steady so far. They're very concentrated. We've only got 15 minutes till this ends, so hopefully you're not too good at this. Some wobbling there on Denise. Some wobbling, some shaking. Everybody else looking pretty solid. Oh, Denise is out. One down. Hey, could you go get the buffs again? Are you serious? Oh, wow. All right, one down. Who will be the next to fall? Does this fill you with adrenaline hearing our patented Outlast music up here? All right, let's all make sure that we keep our hands above the shoulders. You gotta watch where those hands are landing. Very good, very good. Joni's starting to wobble a little bit. Angie, I don't think has budged. Wow, this is really impressive. All right. I honestly did not expect this to even last this long. This is really good. Uh-oh, Andy's down. Down to 3. Joni, watch that back hand. You gotta get it up a little bit. There we go. Man. Jenna, what advice do you have for your mom in this challenge here?
Don't be fazed.
You're good.
Don't be fazed by the other people. And just try to forget about the pain. I know your arms are feeling. We were there. I think this is
Ben, what would you say to your mom here to push her over the edge?
I love you, Mom.
Aww. What better motivation? Chloe.
You got this, Mom. You're farther than I was.
Lydia, as the champion of this challenge, what's your sage wisdom here? Oh, Joni's down. We're down to 2.
Mom, I still love you.
Okay. Well, it's all about the shoulders. Honestly, that's how I won.
Let's go, Marsha.
It's okay. The pain will be over once you're finished. It's not that bad.
Glory lasts forever. Pain is temporary. Watch those back hands. Oh man, they're starting to slowly drip down in the front. What a good challenge. Wow. Watch those back hands. Watch those back hands. Oh, it's starting to fall. Who's gonna give way? Wow. There's not a whole lot to comment on here. They're just standing here. It's really tough. Uh-oh, Marsha, gotta get those arms up. Oh, so good. Oh, we're seeing some wobbles. Seeing some wobbles. Who can hold out? Oh my gosh. Okay, I think we have to call it. This is so good. Congratulations to both of you. You're all winners. Well done. Yeah, that's good. Awesome. Hey, thanks for being brave and playing. That was a lot of fun. I wish I had a buff to give you, but I guess we're out. Sorry. You can get one of Jenna's, I'm sure, and you can get one of Ben's. They probably took too many. That's why we ran out. Okay. that's just about it. Before we wrap up, I have to thank like a whole bunch of people. Firstly, being Muffler, who he and his family took off this morning. Let's say thanks to him. First of all, for like when I walked into his office a year ago and it's like, all right, so what if we did like a Survivor game show? He didn't just say, shut up and leave. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But seriously, his ability to work with us and making this happen and help spearhead and making our dreams come true was really great. I have to thank Jason Thompson, who was our lead challenge builder. Great job with that. My co-Survivor fan helping me creatively run ideas was super great. Sarah and Cheryl's here, but Sarah Bynum also was there that weekend and did a great job of helping with the logistics. Joyce Bynum was our nurse that weekend and did a great job too. So, yeah, on brand. None of our contestants got hurt, but her daughter did. So that's about par for the course. And then our great intern, Hadley, was there that week, helped a whole lot too. Have to say thanks again to Zachary for putting the tracks together. Have to thank our great production and camera crew, Hannah and Grant and Sajel and Nick Holmes, who did a great job on camera. And not just with running the cameras, but they were the ones there at the camp running these confessionals, setting you guys up with the right things to say so that we had good TV too. So couldn't have done it without them. And just personally, man, this has been one of the most fun things that I've ever been a part of. It's been so sweet to see this come from like crazy idea to like this and like the conclusion of it. It's been so fulfilling. And I've said it already, but like, you folks did such an awesome job. I've told you 100 times, but my biggest like fear coming into this is we'd get out there and you'd be like, oh, whatever, this is whatever, vote me out, I don't care. It'd be funny if we did this, but like, you guys played so hard. It was so fun to watch and be a part of, and I could not be more proud of how this all came together. And it's really wild that it's over now, because it really has been about a year of preparation coming to this moment. So, when there's a new high school minister, just tell them how much you love Outlast and how we should totally do it again. And maybe we'll have a season 2 sometime. But until then, man, seriously, thanks so much for being here. This was so much fun. Thanks to you all again. One more time, give it up for Will, the winner of Catalyst Outlast. Congratulations. Have a great night. We'll see you. Actually, 2 things, I almost forgot. Next Sunday is Sixmas. So Christmas party for the 6th. You'll want to be here if you're a high schooler. If you're a parent, you're not invited, sorry. And then, is Cheryl in here? Okay. She either does have or was gonna, okay. She wanted to do like a card thing for Muffler, so just talk to her if you see her and we'll tell you more about it, sorry. What a great way to end, everybody. All right, have a great night. We'll see you next time.